The first clip is of an alternate footstep. You can see here that he's having a little bit of trouble getting started, but he's moving relatively quickly, which is good. You can also see that his hands are pointed up, which I'll get into a little later. And we'll look at the slow motion. We'll take a look here. You can see more in depth that his hands are up like this, and a lot of his rotation is coming from his arms rather than his wrists. You can also see here that he tries to start with a side swing and he ended up messing up because he's going a bit too fast for himself. He tries to go too fast right there, and then he trips over the rope again. But then he starts to get right back into it and he gets his rhythm going. In order to break this down more usefully, we'll look at him in super slow motion. So you can see again, more defined, that his rotation is like this rather than his hands being down by his waist and getting most of his rotation from his wrists. And I think that's part of the reason why he's tripping up. Holding his hands up here, that is a symptom of the rope being too long because he has to fix his hands up over his waist rather than at his waist, which is a suboptimal way to jump rope. I believe that that's why he's messing up so often here. Also, trying to start with a side swing when you don't have much experience with jump rope and you're going too fast isn't the best way. Normally what you want to do is start with your hands out in front of you, like so, with the rope out and the rope extended on your calves, so the rope is making a straight line. We're going to take another look at this because it goes pretty fast. You can see here again that his hands are stuck up here and he tries to start with a side swing, which doesn't do him all that good. And trying to start quickly, the best way to not trip up when you're first starting is to take your time when you're just starting another jump rope repetition instead of trying to get back into it quickly like he's doing in this video. He's starting off again with the side swing. We're looking at it in slower motion. That can be tough to start off that way. And then he tries to do more of an exaggerated jump to get started, which he messes up on, but then he gets right back into it and he gets his rhythm. The best way to look at this is in super slow motion. Again, we see that his hands are fixed far above his waist. That is not the best way to jump because it doesn't make best use of the jumping movement. Again, this is likely a symptom of his rope being too long. If he were to shorten his rope, he probably would be able to jump with his hands closer to his waist, which is a better way to jump. And he also wouldn't need to get a lot of his rotation from his arms. Having your hands up like this, like what he has, is not the most optimal way to jump. It's not the most efficient. You want your hands to be down closer to your waist, especially when you're doing a fast move like the alternate footstep. The alternate footstep is not the easiest move to do in the world because you're moving quickly and it takes more coordination to move quickly and not trip over the rope. But overall, I think he does a good job here. You can tell that he doesn't have much experience with jumping rope, but his coordination and his timing is pretty good. What's up, everybody? Before we get into this video, I wanted to put out a couple ways that you can support the channel if you feel so inclined. The first way is to use the YouTube thanks button and to donate or give however much you want to the channel. The thanks button is located right above the description of each one of the videos on this channel. The second way is to look up my Patreon page. The link is below. Another set of ways is through indirect financial means, which means using one of the channel's affiliate links to do your shopping, of which the channel will get a commission. The first way is through Amazon affiliate links. I have several affiliate links and the channel will receive a commission if you use the affiliate links to do your Amazon shopping. The second way is to use the channel's Crossrope affiliate link to do any shopping on Crossrope's website, and the channel will receive a small commission. Thanks a lot for considering supporting the channel. I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's get into the video. Now we're taking a look at his side swing paired with the alternate footstep. The side swing looks decent. We'll take a look at it in slow motion to break it down. The one thing I notice here is that he moves awkwardly with his hip. He turns his right hip in a bit too much, and he's also not fluid with his side swing. We'll take a look here. See, he's not really moving both of his feet when he does his side swing, and it's labored. When you do your side swing, you want to incorporate a bit of a boxer step into it so that the movement is more fluid. He doesn't really do that here. He does move his feet, and he does jump off of his left foot only, which is a great way to improve the efficiency of the side swing. But with the twist of his hip and also not moving his feet as fluidly as he can, his side swing does look unnatural and a bit awkward. We'll take another look at the side swing in real time with the alternate footstep. Overall, he's got the coordination down pretty well, but we'll take another look. See here that movement with his hip is very awkward. It's too much movement to get the side swing down, even though he's able to execute it successfully there. If he moved less on his hip and he moved his feet a bit more in more of a boxer step fashion, he'd be able to do the more quickly and more efficiently. His transition to the alternate footstep is pretty good. Obviously, he doesn't mess up, but he's still fixing his hands really high, and most of his rotation is coming from his arms and not his wrists. That's probably because the rope is too long for him. I would argue that his crossover is probably his strongest move. He looks natural. He looks very fluid with the crossover. We'll take a look in slow motion. The only thing I see with his crossover is that I believe he's right-handed and he's leading with his left hand. This is something that I did when I first started jumping. I'm right-handed as well. What I would recommend is if you are right-handed that you lead with your right hand over. It makes it easier and more efficient. And if you're left-handed, you lead with your left hand over. Because you can see in his side swing clip that he is leading with his right hand, which is the right way in my opinion to do it. But here he's leading with his left hand with the crossover. We're going to take another look at the crossover. His rhythm is very strong. His coordination is strong. This is not an easy move, so you can tell that he practiced this. This move took me a couple weeks to get in the beginning. We'll look at it in slow motion here still. You see the rhythm is very good. I would say, as I said in the earlier clip, the only thing that I would change here is I would try to put the right hand over because I believe that he's a right-handed person. I think that the rope being long in this case is helpful to him because when you're first starting with the running crossover, it's helpful to have a longer rope so that you can get used to the move and so that you can actually pass through the rope without tripping up. Overall, I think that Michael Jordan does a really good job with jump rope. You can tell by little things that he does that he's not the most experienced jumper in the world. His rope is too long. He's getting a lot of his rotation from his arms rather than his wrists. You can tell that the rope is too long because he's fixing his hands higher than his hips. If he were to get the rope that he's using in this clip sized to his height, I think that he would have had a better time at it and he probably wouldn't have tripped up at all. I think that his strongest move is the running crossover, although it's interesting that he does lead with his left hand, even though I believe that he's a right-handed person and he was leading his side swing with his right hand. That is something that is quite common for both the side swing and the running crossover, or any crossover for that matter, for a right-handed person is to lead with their left hand, and for a left-handed person to lead with their right hand on both of those moves. My advice to you, if you're a right-handed person, to lead your side swing with your right hand and to lead your running crossover with your right hand. It might seem awkward in the beginning, but in the long term, it's going to make you a better jumper and it's going to make you more efficient. If you want to lead with your other hand, with your offhand, say your left hand if you're a right-handed person, and develop that ambidextrousness, then that is a good idea to do once you've been able to master leading with your dominant hand. I hope that you enjoyed the video today. If you did, please give the channel a subscribe. Please give the video a thumbs up. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, jump rope to freedom. Peace, take care.